Okay, it's not too often I get excited actually pulling up to the building where the antique store is, but this old, looks like a warehouse of some sort, looks chock full, and I'm trying to find a parking spot, and there's three levels, so we're gonna go inside Marketplace on Chestnut.
Well, if you got a dollar, well, just lousy down. You know that I got rhythm that could suit your budget fine.
So once again, following let's say this was a duo dive with Katie from Vintage and Vinyl about Tobacciana. Came across a booth just filled with some of the stuff that she was talking about, including a Cinco handy humidor. And so it's got the little tag on there. So this evidently would have sold the actual completed cigars. And then she actually was talking about the Union Leader tobacco. So this is one of the larger cans. That's 18. But check out the display case. Bayuk Philadelphia cigars. So you got this big glass display case. And then inside, some more contemporary pieces. But check out that old Camel thermometer in the back. Some old pipes. I've never seen matchbooks that long. And check out the huge tin of Bear's Honeydew cigarettes with the trunk down elephant. And then you get to the bottom part, and we got a store display of pipes. And it looks like we've gotten some fishing tackle, but some fantastic Tobacciana collections here at this booth. And not tobacco, but also I've never seen a sheet of uncut Monopoly money. I think that's fun. So admittedly, this is a design you come across fairly often, but never in so many pieces at once. So this is an entire collection that is for sale for $1,895. Oh, and that includes the china cabinet. So you can have we talk about instant collections. Well, here you've got an instant collection as well as an instant way to display it. Not sure pricing wise, where that should fall, but have to say, it's the most complete collection I've ever seen. I always have a soft spot for little golden books. These are priced exactly where they should be, so not picking these up for resale, but showing them because you don't typically see them in their original retail display case. So this was the 25-cent little golden book, so this is definitely going to be pretty early on. And there's some of the fun titles that it gives us all flashback to our childhoods. Little golden books everyone loves. So it's great that they gave a little background of the story. First, this is a phone booth that was in the original factory. And they've got a little sign on there that this is the original phone booth, and you can see phone numbers written onto the wall. But this was evidently a manufacturing facility for Raymond Overalls, built in 1911. So, kind of again get a scan of the building. Got the windows in the back. So this is kind of the main level from the front, but there is a basement, which because of the way it's built into a hill, the basement level actually goes out to the back as well. But some great sewing items from the history of this building. How fun is this? I don't know if there's much of a market for it. It's only $8, but I'm not going to pick this up. But I definitely wanted to show it because it's just one of those time capsule things. It starts out as a ledger book for Mother's Day 1950, but if you look at what's in here, it shows that the first one was for Mrs. Catherine Beck, and it was a corsage, a mixed bouquet. Another corsage of yellow roses, another corsage, corsage pink carnations, as you just scroll through here, these were all Mother's Day orders. It's a florist order book. So they just took a regular bound notebook, and it looks like, you know, they kind of put in what day the call came in, or if it was charged. It looks like there was a card from Hank. So it's just like a little snapshot. I don't know if some of them are crossed out, some of them aren't. I'm not sure what all of the references mean. Card in box for a mixed bouquet of roses, etc. So these are all still for Mother's Day, and then it jumps, you know, this is just a general Sunday. So somebody wanted 18 petunias, a plant, and 3 roses. Red carnations. Actually, this is still showing Mother's Day. It does jump at one point. It shows Easter. Yeah, we've got some for Easter. I don't know if they're just all holidays. Like at some point, did they just take maybe a funeral order or something, or a wedding? So maybe this was a special book just for holidays, because clearly they got a lot of orders in Easter of 1951. I didn't realize it was such a big floral giving event. So again, it's just kind of a book. The whole thing, I mean, it's one of those pretty full. And then in the back, there's a couple of receipts, a transcription from a Western Union cable, you know, so just some fun stuff. I'm gonna leave it behind, but I thought it was worth showcasing. So I hope you enjoyed some of the clips that I showed there, some of the shops that I went through in New York. Wanted to do kind of a mini haul video. I didn't actually videotape a lot of these items from the clips that I showed, but I definitely wanted to highlight a couple of my favorite items that I picked up. Some of them I bought for myself, some will actually be resold. From the shops in New York, one of my favorite pieces is this one. This came from the Blue Farm Antique store in Franklin, New York. It's a piece of copper luster, similar to the copper luster I already own, but I'd never seen one done in a loving cup design. So it's got these beautiful handles on it. There's a couple of condition issues. There's a tiny, tiny chip here at the corner, a little bit of wear, which in an ideal world, I probably wouldn't have picked up. But because I'd never seen one before, and the price, I think, reflected some of the damage, this is definitely something that I wanted to add to my personal collection. So I got that, and I was really excited to pick that one up. I also, on the exact same street, picked up another piece of copper luster. This one, I was debating between which design to pick up. They actually had a really nice collection of them. I'll try and drop in some. I think I did more photography at Kabinett and Kammer than I did video. Can't remember if I did any video. But anyway, they actually had a really nice selection of copper luster, and I did want the cobalt design. This one in the store was the darkest of the blues that they had, and it is similar to this copper luster. The blues are similar, but not as dark as this cobalt, which is what I'm actually preferring to build to my collection. So this will stay in my collection. It just may go on a lower shelf. It might go onto one of the side bookcases because it is a beautiful piece. It's a shape that I did not own, so that was why primarily I picked this up. But the blue isn't quite as dark as some of the blues I have in my collection. So that just shows in some cases, depending on the lighting, depending on what it's being compared against, I thought this was dark enough until I brought it home. So still a beautiful piece, still a lovely piece of copper luster, and again, a shape I don't own, so I have no problem having it in my collection. But to be honest, if I buy more pieces and this and I run out of space, this might be one that actually gets bumped out simply because it's not as dark of a cobalt as the decoration on my stoneware, which is really where that blue is coming from. But still a beautiful piece, as was the store. So I mentioned this, I think in the video. I need to pay attention to what I videotaped, but at least in the Instagram posts, that the gentleman that owned the store wrote a book. So Sean Sherer, sorry, Sean, wrote the book. Beautiful, beautiful books. Kabinett Kammer, Creating Authentic Interiors, forward by Anderson Cooper. And there's just some beautiful eye candy going through this. It's a lot of how to decorate with collections. So it's definitely speaking my language, and the shop was just a great example of how to do exactly that. So again, if I didn't post a video from there, I'm sorry, I really don't remember if I did. I will at least drop in some stills during this portion to show some of the photographs, and then very strongly encourage you, if you are ever in Franklin, New York, to visit the shop of Kabinett and Kammer, and then go down the street to Blue Farm Antiques, and you can make a day of it and go to Yokel. Yokel was the restaurant that we ate at while we were in town. So it's just, you can make a whole day. So those were some of my bigger purchases. And those are the items that I'm keeping. I did pick up a few things for resale. If you followed my channels before, you know that Trusty does coasters. And I'm not ashamed of that. And I was not aware that it was becoming a thing until people started commenting on it. So I do sell coasters fairly regularly, and I'm always looking for unique designs. And this was one that I found. These are Christmas coasters. I found similar concepts before, in the sense that they are like little, almost like terry cloth or fabric wraps that go on the bottom of your drink glasses, but I've never seen them with the plastic type holly berry attached to the front. So I'm not sure. I believe this is not the original wrapping, but it is the original box. But I do believe these have been used. They just probably got put back into their packaging every year, because you can see some of the berries have lost a little bit of the red flocking, but they're still in pretty good shape. And if nothing else, the packaging would make a great vignette for a vintage Christmas design, since not everyone uses coasters, but I do. I think they're cool, but these will be something that I will be reselling. Another item that I picked up for resale I thought was kind of fun. I'm not 100% sure on the year on these. It does have a copyright, and it says made in Japan, but there is a 5-digit zip code on the bottom. It's a set of, not coasters, it's a set of puzzles, but it's in kind of like a little coaster box, which, to be perfectly honest, is what caught my attention. It does have a zip code, so they're post-1963. A set of 4 colorful circular torture puzzles also caught my attention. Perfect time killer for puzzle fiends. Printed in vivid colors. These are attractive, and we warn you, difficult. Let's begin. So I will admit the first 3 are complete, and that was enough to please me, because first of all, the very first one is very, very cool. It's a great dragon design, and it does reflect that design on the outside, but on the outside they're in black and white, so it's a little bit harder to appreciate their appeal. So but you can see there is a dragon right there at the top. I'm going to see if I can peel these apart gently so they don't fall apart. So you can see, and you can kind of see the shape of the cutouts, which is why it's saying that these are a little bit more difficult to do. They're stamped on the back, made in Japan. You can kind of see where the separation is. This one, nice little vibrant, these are probably late 60s, early 70s, again, after 1963. You know, some great little pop art circles. You can also see a lot of triangles within the circle for that design. This one, a lot of chevrons in both the design and in the shapes. So again, some nice bright colors. But the 4th one, unfortunately, had come apart. So first, I'll give you a little tip. That is one of the shapes. And that is what is at the bottom of the box. That's going to stay at the bottom of the box. I'd like to hope that all the pieces are there, but even if they're not, you still have all the pieces for the first 3. I am not trying to put this puzzle together. So my daughter were here, I tried to make her do it, but she's not. So I will be selling this probably just in a live sale, since I'm not completing that last puzzle. I think it is kind of cool. Originally, I was considering separating the puzzles, because at first, the way this was wrapped up, the cover had come to the bottom. So I didn't realize the entire box was here. So I could probably buy them and just separate them. But since the box is here, even if the 4th puzzle doesn't happen to have all the pieces, I still want to keep it together, because it is kind of a cool piece. So that was another item that I picked up, but that again is something that I will be selling. The next item I found, my daughter and I found these together, and I'm embarrassed to say I wasn't 100% sure what I found because photography is not really my thing, and I had not seen these outside of a frame. So first we came across the pictures that had these little cardboard designs, but I think the other ones will show a little bit better of what we found. My microphone is on me. They're rigid, they're metal. And as we figured out, as obvious as the name should have told us, they are tintypes. And so tintypes was around for actually quite a long time. There are tintypes that actually show automobiles, so they did go into the 30s and 40s, but they also started in the 19th century, replacing some of the more sophisticated daguerreotypes and things like that. So, and you can tell by some of the clothing, like that one. Actually, I'll have to do a little bit of research because I'm not sure what some of these clothes are representing. And none of them have any, markings on the back. None of them have their frames or their folders. Now he's kind of like, I don't know. I was about to say it's a bowler, but that's really tall. So I don't know what kind of hat that's considered or what kind of suit that is considered. I would say she's every bit Victorian, though. You got the leg of mutton sleeves, at least the puffs shoulders, pretty sour look. And just doing a little bit of talking to some other resellers, that the reason these were popular was because they were inexpensive to get. They were a little bit more instantaneous than some of the more sophisticated and expensive options that were available. And so it was one of those, particularly as it passed into the 20th century, they were items that could be done by, pretty much just about everyone. Definitely the middle class, but even some of the lower ones that could get it as a souvenir as a vacation. So they're not particularly rare. But I will just admit, I've literally never had them, certainly not loose like this. So I thought they were kind of a fun little pickup. I will probably be selling these separately, or I might even just throw them into some mystery boxes. Who knows? I got them at a good price. But some of the imagery themselves I thought was kind of fun, with the different, again, trying to identify the clothing and the backdrops, even maybe in this case, the design that's on the cardboard to figure out what era some of these actually represent. So those, although I think they're cool, not staying in my personal collection, those will be for sale as well. This one, if I lived in a bigger house and had storage, ample storage, I might have kept this one, but this will be something I will sell. But I picked it up because it is every bit something a huckster would like. Initially, came across, this is what I saw. And there's a little bit of texture to it. It's paper, but is it a cover? It's very thin. So I'm like, is it a cover or something? What is it? So I opened it up. It is a wallpaper sample. And so this one is from the Renaud cutout combination. I tried to do a little bit of digging on some of these to figure out even what era they were from. Neither one of the samples actually give the name, unless that Renaud is the name. So I need to do a little bit of digging. It keeps referring to it as the Renaud combination. So I don't know if that's a company thing or if that's maybe a brand. So hopefully I can find it. The other one, which I might have more luck finding, is the second sample, which, this I would say looks like more library, living room, I don't know, maybe bedroom. Very simple. Unfortunately, it's got kind of cut off what looked like it might have been a pretty cool design. And then you've got, a little dotted design here. I would say this is probably teens to 30s. It's got a little bit of a deco thing going on, but I think it's passing that. Or maybe it's moving into it, who knows? But then the second one is, first of all, it's a different material. Well, I hate to say material, but it's definitely a different finish. You can even see the light is kind of glaring off of it. It's almost like a vinyl it's still got a paper backing, but the finish is a lot more vinyl compared to this, which is almost a suede finish. I mean, it's definitely, you could tell it's paper. It's not trying to be leather or anything, but that's kind of what it feels like. Maybe almost more of a linen construction paper. This one, though, really kind of feels like a plasticky finish, and it's because it is the kitchen wallpaper, and it is under the brand of Wash-A-Wall.
So I'm hoping I might be able to find a little bit of information just from that, because that seems like it might be a pretty distinct brand name. So it says wash well suitable for bathrooms, kitchen, halls, and vestibules. And it also has some pricing information. So these were original wallpaper samples, sample books, salesman samples. It's attached to this last sheet, which is just additional samples. This one is the same as the wash-a-wall sample, but this is kind of the gold variation. The others are totally different designs. So I'm not sure what this is, if it's a portion of a book. The pages appear to be glued together, so it's entirely possible there were more pages, and probably a cover, because I don't think you would just have the wallpaper as the cover. But the fact that these are little built-in advertising slides for the wallpaper samples, I just thought that was really cool. So definitely picked it up. Like I said, if it was something that I could have my entire and a huge huckster collection and not have to worry about storing it, I'd keep it. I don't, so I'm not keeping it. It might end up in a live sale, or it might just end up going into a mystery box. I'm not sure necessarily what a huge market for this. I just thought it was pretty cool. So I wanted to pick it up and make sure it goes to a good home. I picked up a few other pieces, but most of them were just little small items, small things that I could put in mystery boxes. A couple things I'm keeping for myself, a couple things I'm picking up for gifts that I don't want to show. Christmas is coming. So that's all I really wanted to show. I did a lot of traveling on this trip, but I didn't have a lot of downtime. So really what I did was some videotaping along with my daughter, showing some of the places that we were able to go. And again, some of them were going to only be photographs, but some of them are the videos. So I tried to combine and show a little bit of everything that I picked up throughout that trip through central upstate New York. So I hope you enjoyed the video, hope you enjoyed the little haul at the end, and hope you're enjoying my channel. So if you've gotten this far and you haven't thumbed up the video, I'd appreciate you doing that. And if you've gotten this far and you're not a subscriber, well, kudos on your dedication, but I would really appreciate you going ahead and becoming a subscriber, because little things like that do make a difference in how YouTube spreads this content to other viewers. So I appreciate you watching the video, appreciate you giving me your time, and appreciate you putting your trust in Trusty Huckster. I will talk to you again soon. Bye-bye.
Well, show me a sign if you're wishing me to stay. Otherwise, I say goodbye and finish out the day. And that sunrise in the morning and you got nothing to say. Oh, that's when I'll be headed on my way.